There is a road in England that people believe is haunted. In the Dartmoor area of Devon, there is a road, the unromantically named B3212, where some claim that hairy invisible hands could grip yours when you're driving or riding a motorbike, and then they crush you violently, trying to murder you. The English press not only reported on this, but they're an active part in the myth-making. I mean, if they are invisible, I'm not sure how you can tell someone has hairy hands if they grip yours. Because even in apes, hands are usually smooth on the gripping side. Also, how come you can feel the hands, but not the rest of the body? Are the two hairy, invisible hands connected by a single arm? Sometimes it is hard to answer such questions. Like, you may wonder how Australian batters can go on for 500 runs, with basically 2 sessions of the tail out there, and handle the conditions easily. But when England's top order bat, they all suddenly have anvils for hands and are desperate to be out caught and bowled. The hairy hands of Devon have been debunked by many skeptics over the years. The heavy hands of England opened up the test match for Australia.
Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. If you want to be part of the community that makes content like this, head over now.
The last time I checked, 55% of caught and bowled were dropped. It is a fairly unlikely dismissal, and with seam bowlers, probably even more unlikely. The most ever by a quick is Jimmy Anderson with 12. Dale Steyn and Richard Hadley have 11 and 10. Michael Neser is a similar sort of bowler to these three, if not anywhere near their league. He's another full outswing bowler who is a good athlete and fielder as well. But 2 caught and bowled in one game is pretty unlikely, even for a player of this sort. And what is incredible is that Neser dropped one. It could have been 3. Ben Duckett smashed a ball, clubbed actually, right back at Neser's head, and if anything, he did well to get a hand on it. But it wasn't just that one catch. England hit many balls in the air at catchable heights. Crawley forced a half volley up at one point. Pope was slicing and lofting balls for fun. It felt inevitable that England were going to lose wickets to these kinds of shots. But the actual caught and bowled, less so. But while England played a huge part in this, it wasn't just them. As a cricket fan, we love a crack. They are sexy to look at, especially on what is otherwise a flat wicket. Bowlers obsess over these tempting wavy lines, but most can't hit them. When John Buchanan did an accuracy test of Glenn McGrath, who is about as pinpoint as any seamer ever, he realised that the old-fashioned handkerchief that bowlers could hit was more like a beach towel. We see the same in limited overs with Yorkers. The range of length for a fast bowler is around 1 metre for an incredible bowler, and more so for a regular international. Generally, when cracks are at their most dangerous is with line, which bowlers seem to be able to control a lot more. So what most seamers need is a crack running down their natural line. That can create chaos. Outside of that, if the crack is on the wrong line of length or hasn't yet been plated, you often get bowlers change their line and length to one near the uneven surface, but often they still struggle, because it's hard to be as accurate as normal when you're changing from what you usually do. So they get picked off a lot. You sometimes have to work out if it's just worth bowling normally. I think England went with this, and the pitch was so flat that this is the day where crack hunting was probably better. But are their bowlers accurate enough to even hit them consistently? Perhaps the guy most likely was back home preparing for his next podcast. Boland hit them, but we kind of expect him to take wickets anyway. Rushline's AI was telling us that all day on their app. In fact, with a pink ball, he is almost more likely to be unplayable. The cracks just made it completely unfair. But Doggett hit them too, bowling a full and straight line when he hasn't done that pretty much all series, and the kind of line that England seamers are against morally. And Michael Neser's natural line was almost perfect for the crack at that end. It was where he wanted to bowl, like someone had pre-arranged it for him. But he would have expected to get a bolder LBW. Instead, Ollie Pope with Bazballian hard hands punched it back at him. The ball may not have hit the crack perfectly, but it was pretty damn close. If you enhance the picture, well, zoom in, you can see that there is a lighter vein basically where the ball landed. This might have held it up a little bit, but it was Pope's visible hairy hands that pushed hard and gave the catch to Neser. That might not have been that bad, except that Crawley then tried to drive at another ball. This looked shorter, but perhaps because Crawley was stuck on the crease. And it was very much a better catch by Neser, the kind that often goes down. But basically, they lose 2 wickets to a seamer caught and bowled in a row, which is so rare. Duckett got done by one that kept low. Brooks was worked over by a very good spell, while Smith and Root continued England's other obsession at driving Starc behind them. But I wonder if the caught and bowled aren't the most Bazball way for this to end. Going hard at the ball in a repeated risky way on a day when they couldn't get the Australian tail out. Scott Boland, test average 7.64, faced 72 balls today. No England player saw 6. All of that after a good start. Duckett and Crawley went well early, and then Pope got past 20 somehow. And that is what they are looking for, right? And from there, it was 2 caught and bowls with Australia somehow hitting a crack that England's bowlers were consciously uncoupling from. From there, it was the normal Ashes shit show, just faster. Many think, just like the hairy hands of Devon, that Bazball is a myth. Something conjured up by an overexcited English press. And that's clearly not true. They played some incredible cricket during this period and inspired the rest of the game to change at times as well. But the entire idea of Bazball is that it would succeed in Australia. And as of today, the hairy invisible hands are steering them towards another predictable Ashes crash. There is a team from England that people believe is haunted in Australia. Maybe they're right?